Alright, Rockers, the second of our interviews here inside the asylum this week. Promised you guys, in addition to Bobby Blitz earlier, well, now we've got Michael Hannon of American Dog out of Ohio. Yeah, we got Jersey earlier, we got the Midwest now. On the phone, joining me now, Michael Hannon, bass player and vocals of American Dog. How you doing, brother?
Doing great, man. It's been a good summer for us so far, and we're coming back your way, though. We're still doing a bunch of shows with Tesla right now, and they've been sporadic, but we're going to be doing New Hampshire here August 12th with them at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom, and then we'll be doing up in Oswego or Fulton, New York, we're doing Floodies. Then we, excuse me, come right back to the Midwest.
Corbin, yeah, you guys are just really killing it. Since getting on that lineup with Tesla and doing the dates with them, because they've got their new album out, you guys now have your new album out, Neanderthal, and yeah, you guys are kind of very similar styles and sound, although I find you guys to be a little more on the grittier and hard rocking style than Tesla's been, and I was just kind of wondering how you guys ended up linking up to go out together, and I mean, I know it started out as just a few shows together, and now it's expanded into more and more. How did it first come together for you guys to go out together on tour, and then did it just decide, after those first few dates, it felt right, so you guys just kept going?
Yeah, it worked out real well. I mean, I've known the Tesla guy for a long time. I mean, I was signed to Geffen Records when I was in the band Salty Dog, and Geffen on Geffen, and Tesla was on Geffen as well, and we had the same A&R man. And strangely enough, my name is Michael Hannon, and their guitar player is named Frank Hannon. And I got his NAMM pass one time by mistake, and we met like that, and we just seen each other off and on for years. And Frank's also done a lot of solo shows, which we've opened up for here in the Midwest, in Cleveland and Cincinnati, Columbus areas. And also, their other guitar player, Dave Rude, we played shows with him on his solo stuff. So it's just we've always kind of known each other, kind of related in a strange way. And so it just worked out. We got on a few shows, and it worked, and their crowd is perfect for us. So, they got a Midwest image, even though they're from California, I think. They're kind of just blue jean denim kind of T-shirt kind of band, I think. But it's worked real well.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've been, you people don't realize is you've been around, for longer than American Dog has been put together. People, might not realize if you go back and do some digging around, for those of you out there in the
American Dog
world.
Yeah, American Dog's been together for 15 years now. I mean, that's a long time.
Right, and
before that.
And then you go back before that to doing some work with Dangerous Toys. You were out on tour, do live shows with them, and then you had Salty Dog when you were on Geffen. So, I mean, you've been around.
Yeah. I'm too stupid to stop. Yeah, it's one of those things, it's kind of a labor of love thing, where you like what you're doing, so you just keep going.
Well,
but I'm not really trained to do too much else in my life.
Well, it's not really a labor of love if you love what you do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I do love it. I mean, and I love rock and roll. I mean, the music we're playing is the kind of music I listen to. In fact, I just love it. I mean, I started out, in the 70s, back in the days of 8-track tapes and vinyl, and man, I grew up on Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, AC/DC, and Black Sabbath, and that's still the stuff I listen to. Hell, all those bands are still around.
Yeah, I know, right? Who would have thought back then, some of the bands, I mean, even some of the bands I listened to growing up, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and, a lot of the bands in the 80s, some of them are still going. I mean, Tesla, for example, they broke in the 80s, and here they are still going strong, and like you said, Sabbath and Motorhead, they're still going strong, and, just goes to show you, hey, maybe there's some logic to being in a rock and metal band. Maybe there is a fountain of youth, I'm
with you. Metalheads, us people like the hard stuff, man, we're into the music, and we stick with our music, whether it's fashionable or not. And you can tell. It's like the people still listening to it are still there. Like, look at Iron Maiden and Judas Priest are still putting out albums, still touring, and it's like metalheads are loyal, man. We stick with our bands, and then there's people that get on board when it becomes popular. Then they drop off. Well, they were never really true metalheads anyway, But you can tell that people love it and stick with it and stick to their guns. Motorhead, they've never wavered, nor have AC/DC.
No, a lot of those bands have really, really stuck to their gun, like you said, Motorhead, Iron Maiden. And the other thing, too, you gotta love about the world of rock and metal, and I saw this in full force this weekend when I was at Def Leppard and Kiss at the PNC Bank Arts Center, is that, the world of rock and metal, there is no age limit or age restriction. From 8 to 80, if you're into it, you're there and you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Very good point. I mean, look at Motorhead. Motorhead are all the time getting young fans. Like, I know you just did your thing with Bobby Blitz from Overkill. You get, younger thrash kids, they got turned on to Motorhead, and you get young people all the time. Motorhead plays with those younger bands like the Corns and things like that on those kinds of festivals, and they still go over well. There's no age limit or, age requirements for Motorhead or hard rock, I don't think.
No, not at all. And you bring up another good point, too, with the festival aspect, because the festivals have kind of turned into this one big cross-generational, love of music festival. Everyone just goes, well, it's this festival, it's that festival. But then when you look at it and you see bands, younger bands like you guys on a festival lineup right alongside Five Finger Death Punch and Megadeth and Motorhead and Avenged Sevenfold. You've got all these different generations of music coming together all in one setting. You can't help but discover a new band if you're a younger rocker, or hell, even if you're an older rocker, you may find yourself a new band.
Agreed, 100%. That's what's great about it. We have a big thing here in Columbus every summer called Rock on the Range, and it just had Slayer and Five Finger Death Punch and even Kid Rock. I mean, it was quite a combination of people, but, it was one big happy family when you went down there.
Right, I mean, that's the other great point that you bring up. It's always one big happy family. We may have our discussions privately or at the bar over a few drinks about what band is better or what album is better, but at the end of the day, regardless of what you prefer, everyone all comes together and says, you know what, we have to hold the banner high for the world of rock and metal, and everyone just unites and says, you've got your favorite, I got mine, and let's all just rock together.
Yes, absolutely.
So you guys now have your latest studio album, and I'm counting. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your 7th studio album in the 15 years you guys have been together. Neanderthal, the new one out, available in stores now, and of course through American Dog themselves at AmericanDog.us. And if my memory serves me right, because I first got into you guys when Poison Smile arrived in the mail, this is the first time you guys are a 4-piece?
Yes. We've been a 3-piece for 14 years, and we decided, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens if we add a second guitar player. And, we'll just see how it works out. It's an oddball thing. We've been thinking about it for years, but we were always chickened out. Because we said, it ain't broken, why fix it? But then we just said, hey, let's give it a shot, We always know because we can always go back to being a 3-piece if it doesn't work. But so far it's working just fine.
Now, was it a smooth transition, or did you guys haze the new member as you came in?
It was very smooth because, the most work was for our lead guitar player of 15 years, Steve Theotto, who's my partner. He's the one that had to be more disciplined because before being the only guitar player, he could just take off and go and play fills wherever he wanted, the lead guitar stuff. Now, with a second guitar player, you guys kind of got to start and stop at the same, section. So it was the hardest for him. And, you know, we've known the new guitar player, Vinny, we've known him for a long time. He played guitar for the Gods with a Z, who are a Columbus band here. He's been in that band for the last 10 years, so we know him through other shows.
And that band actually has kind of an underground following. I've heard that band's name mentioned before, and I've actually heard some of their stuff through Eddie Trunk. I know he's played some of their stuff every now and again. I know, but memory serves me right, they don't have many albums out themselves, mainly because they're kind of hard to get or something like that.
Yeah, well, the Gods were like, their first album came out in 1977, and they've been through a ton of changes. But their first album, they toured with Angel, if you remember them.
Mm-hmm.
The ones the Angel wore the black, I mean, it's usually all white, sat into the Magic Tricks. Greg Giuffria was in that band.
Right,
and they did tours with Judas Priest.
Right,
and they also toured with Kiss on the Love Gun.
Right, it was ironic back in the day because everyone used to refer to Angel as the anti-Kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Like, and it's funny, the second Gods album was on the Casablanca label, which was the label that put out, you know, Angel and Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that got worked up. And so they built it as a heavenly concert, the Gods and Angel together, you know.
Like I missed out. Sometimes I look back and I miss out on. I think I missed out on some really, really awesome stuff. Being born in '80, it was like I just missed a lot of the early stuff, but just in time for a lot of the, you know, what went on in the '80s when rock and metal was really at its high piece. And you know, but getting back into Neanderthal, which is in stores now, Vinny Salvatore, the new member. When you guys went into writing, you know, this is the first time you and I have actually really spoken by phone and really get into detail. Was the writing different going into putting this album together as a four-piece? Aside from Steve having to kind of realize, all right, him and Vinny need to stop together, was it different to write it for a four-piece as opposed to what you used to do as a three-piece?
No, it really wasn't. Because I write all the lyrics and I come in with a lot of the music myself, but we put down songwriting credits to everybody, and it's just one of those things. I mean, the only way it really changed was, and I never thought this would affect it like it did, was like the other guitar player playing the parts really thickened it. Like before, Steve would play the rhythm part, then he'd go back and add lead. And now we just have, instead of Steve doing the second guitar part, Vinny does it. And just having a different guy doing it has really changed the way it sounds in the studio, which I wasn't prepared for. I didn't think it would change it that much, but it really did, and I think for the better. I guess because two guys you strum a little different, and it really works well. But the other writing was pretty much the same as we've always done it, other than, you know, we've kind of grown and adapted and developed it over time. It really came out quick and easy. I mean, we were in the studio a total of 5 days recording this album. That's it. We are prepared when we go on. We don't jack around in there because it's too expensive in the studio.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays everyone's trying to make up the money where they can because so many people are doing it at home, and the studios aren't really making the money that they used to make. So, it makes sense to go in there and get it done as quickly as possible. That way they're not taking you and raking you over the coals for that extra bit of cash.
Exactly.
And,
it's odd how, the studio time, get back to that real quick, we do it differently than a lot of bands do anymore. Like you said, a lot of people do it at home. It's weird, the drummer will do it to a click track, and then he'll send it in the mail to the guitar player, and they'll do it, things like that. And to me, a lot of that recording like that makes things sound really stiff and soulless. We do it live without a click track in the room, and we on purpose will speed up in some portions of songs and slow down on purpose just to give it that feel. I mean, if you listen to the Zeppelin, some of that great Zeppelin stuff, they pulled back and slow down on parts, like when it goes into a chorus, they'll slow down on purpose. And any real music kind of guy will say, that's wrong, you got to stay right on the beat. And I disagree. I disagree 100%. I think you should make it like give it the emotion you need. You speed up, man, when it gets crazy, and then slow down a little bit. I have no problem with that at all. Matter of fact, drummers would go crazy when I first meet them, and I say, "Okay, I want you to slow down here," and they'll look at me like I'm crazy in the head. But that's what I think you need to do in music to make it sound better.
Well, I mean, it also keeps the listener's attention when you do something like that. A lot of times, I'll get albums, and I'll listen to an album beginning to end, and there's no change, and I find myself going, the album's over. Wait a minute, I just started the album. What happened? And you end up losing people in that sense. So by doing like you said, going in there and changing it up and mixing up the tempos and doing all of that, you're able to catch the ears the ear of the listener now, and it's a key thing to do nowadays since everyone is multitasking. No one hardly ever sits down and just listens to an album anymore. Everyone's always, doing more than one thing while listening to the album.
It's true, yeah. It's true. Like me, I'm such a music fanatic. It's a holiday. When a new Motorhead album comes out, I get myself a 12-pack of beer. The phone is in the other room, and I just put it on, sit right in the middle between the speakers, drink my beer, and listen to the new Motorhead, read the lyrics, and love it. And I got to get a magnifying glass sometimes to read the lyrics because the CD booklet's so small. But I'm still a CD junkie because that's why I've missed the days of vinyl because of that.
Oh, thank God, someone else that's a CD junkie. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
I was starting to think I was a dying breed, man.
Yeah, but I love that. I mean, like when you buy a download, to me, you didn't buy anything. You don't own anything. I can buy the CD and then I can put it on my computer if I want. But come on, I want to buy it. I want to look at what the personality of the band is. I want to see, read the liner notes and the lyrics and stuff like that.
Well, that's how I've always thought about it. I mean, I'm in that between when vinyl and 8-track went out and cassettes and CDs came in. And I remember, for me, when I came of age to be able to go out and buy my own music, CDs were what I went out and bought. I mean, I remember the very first CD I ever bought with my own money was Aerosmith Pump. And, for those of you who maybe are younger than me and don't remember CDs, Michael, you'd remember, used to come in these blister packs. These big...
Yeah, they call those long boxes.
Yeah. And, those big, cardboard boxes, you get home and you end up destroying half of it trying to get the CD out because the CD was...
Yeah, that's a fact.
But that was part of the fun because, you go in the store, you pick up the box, you look at the artwork. In some cases, the artwork may have been the entire front cover. You'd flip it over, you'd be looking at the title track, the album track, it was a whole big thing. And then, obviously they phased out those long boxes for environmental reasons, but there's still something about physically having a copy of it in your hands to always go back to, because we've all learned technology is not perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and a great album cover, like something like, say, Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time. You could look at it and find all the little cool things they hid in there. I mean, like in there, they've got the old Ruskin Arms bar. They've got Eddie walking around, the whole band's standing in the background. It's just great stuff when you got good artwork to look at, and you can really soak in the music. That's a kind of a dying breed thing,
Yeah, it is. I mean, because I remember, in high school and college, the whole thing for me with an album was I would go out and it would be, I'm looking, I knew what albums I was looking for based on the artwork. I didn't have to sit there and go, what was the name of the album again, and type it into a search engine or the name of the band. If you had friends that were into the same music, someone usually had the album the day it came out, and everyone knew this is what the artwork looked like, this is what was in the booklet, this is what the back cover looked like. There was a dedication to the whole process of putting an album together. It wasn't just hiring somebody to do a cover and then writing an album's worth of material. It was writing the album, figuring out what artwork would work with an album, or in some cases wouldn't work.
Yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, that takes us right to the album cover we have on Neanderthal. The art on the cover is done by the late, great Frank Frazetta. And he's people in the sci-fi era, the science fiction fans know him real well, because that's what he mostly does. But in rock and roll, he's real famous for doing those Molly Hatchet album covers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first one, which is Death Dealer. He did like 2 or 3 Molly Hatchet album covers. He also did Nazareth. What is that album cover? He did Expect No Mercy. He did that Dust album cover, Saints and Sinners. He did some covers for Wolf Mother. And we were really lucky to get a Frazetta cover. We just love it. That's going back to our old school and the way we're thinking, just like you and I are talking. You got the whole ritual of the artwork and just sitting down and really soaking in the album.
Right. I mean, and you guys have done that with your, I'm looking at the album covers now on your website, because I have only Poison Smile and Neanderthal here in physical copies, and of the 7 albums that you guys have put out, I'd say 1, 2, 4 of the 7, the artwork on the front matches exactly what the album is called. I mean, red, white, black, and blue, that's exactly what it looks like. The album Mean, for, your 2010 release, Mean, the album cover, it fits. Poison Smile, it fits. And of course, your new one, Neanderthal, which is available in stores. I mean, Frank Frazetta nailed it with that one.
Yeah, it's great stuff, and there's 4 of them. See, that painting was done back in 1966, and our guy that does most of our art, the guy who did the artwork on Poison Smile, was working at a horror and comic book convention, and he talked to Frank Frazetta's son and said, "I'm doing artwork for the band American Dog right now, and their new album is called Neanderthal." And he said, "Well, Dad did a painting called Neanderthal, and it's up to be licensed out." So he got us in touch with him, and it came out great. We just got lucky there. It was right place, right time.
Oh, that's just awesome. I mean, for something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't have asked for better. 4 Neanderthals. And, Neanderthal title, that's when I wrote that song, that's about the kind of rock and roll we do. It's not fashionable. We are, it's just singing about, fashions are changing, but I don't care, I'm a Neanderthal. I am the old school. That's all I know. I'm a throwback of good old rock and roll. I am Neanderthal. That's right. The lyrics. It's just, that's what it's all about.
And it is what you guys do on this new album, because, even I look back to Poison Smile, to reference, always to compare, especially when there was 2 years in between. And I'm even noticing, in the titles, and even in the lyrics, it's almost like you guys have, I don't want to say grown, because you guys are adults and you guys have been around for years and grown. But I mean, if you think about Poison Smile, when I first got it and I saw Just Like Charlie Sheen as a title track, and Bathroom Romance, and Can Your Pussy Do the Dog, right away I start getting these thoughts in my head of like, okay, just the titles alone, make you cringe or make you wonder what's going on. And then with Neanderthal, the titles just take a total turn in another direction. And I think even musically, you guys have gone in a new direction, but still staying to what you guys are. I've been saying when I play the new stuff from you guys, I think this could be the album to really put you guys over the mark and put you on the same level as, Tesla and all of them on radio, not just on the fan bases, because we all know radio is about.
It's just so tough getting on the radio, man. I mean, it's like if you're not on a major label, who's on a major label anymore? And it's actually probably a blessing not to be on a major label, because now major labels, they won't sign you unless they do what's called a 360 deal. And a 360 deal is when they own everything. They take your publishing. They take all your merchandise money from you. They take everything. So a lot of people just won't do a major label because of that.
Right, it's not worth it for you, for a lot of bands, because, then what are you left with? Then you're left with having to get a 9 to 5 for when you're not out on the road tour doing your thing, or you're stuck constantly in that loop of put the album out, go out, tour, write the album while you're on tour, come back, record it, put it out, and go back out again. You get burnt out that way.
Yeah. But I guess it's up to you how you want to do it. Pick your poison, man. There's very few. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. We're paying for the recordings. We're putting it out ourselves. I mean, the only place we have a record deal is in Europe. That's because just so there's distribution over there. And there actually still are record stores over there. So it's good. I mean, France. We have a French label that's been behind us for probably 12 years now. A bad reputation, and France is one of our best markets, so we do great there. And there's a lot of really energy in the crowds in Europe, more so than in the States, I hate to say. It's like what you were talking about. Everybody's distracted. Everybody's on their phone. Everybody's holding up their phone or texting during our show. It's like, good God, put the phone away for 30 minutes.
Right. I mean, I find myself even having to remember myself that when I'm at a show. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be doing the internet radio thing and having people want to know where I'm at and what I'm doing with social media, and finding that balance for me when I'm at a live show. I gotta remember to take 1 or 2 photos, put it out on Instagram, put it out on Twitter and Facebook, and then dive back into the show. And I find myself looking around and going, I have, fans and followers that want to know what I'm doing, and I'm looking around at the other people around me who, are just regular everyday music fans, and they're either buried in Facebook or Twitter or worried about whether or not their video was good enough for YouTube, instead of sitting there and actually enjoying the show they paid to get in for.
Yeah. It's an odd thing, isn't it?
It really is. It's a mind-blowing situation. And, I mean, as you said, I said, it's maybe a sign of the time. Maybe we're becoming too self-involved and all that on social media, and need to maybe get back to our roots and just realize, what? We're out of the show, man. Leave it at that. Just enjoy the show.
I'll tell you, how people are, you can tell they're addicted to their phones. You ever see that porno video of Paris Hilton? She's getting laid by some dude, and her phone rings, and she stops to answer the phone.
Yeah, it's true. And that was before we had smartphones.
That's crazy.
I mean, that just makes you go, what the hell, man?
Yeah, that's when you say, come on. But hell, man. Anyway, what's funny? Here's something you probably didn't know, since you haven't been with us for a long time. That Red, White, Black, and Blue album.
Yeah.
It was called that because our guitar player got hit by a car while changing a flat tire, and he recorded the second half of that album in a wheelchair.
Really?
And we carried him up, and that's why I'll send you. Read the liner notes in there. There's a picture of him playing in his wheelchair because he got hit by a car, and we practiced in a basement, so we had to carry him up and down the stairs in his wheelchair to practice for like about 3 weeks to get him, till he got recovered. Then we did the second half of the album. Because right in the middle of the album is when he got hit by the car.
Holy cow! That's a hell of a. Like a behind the music story, just like waiting to happen. I mean, but it also shows you too, the dedication that you guys have, for the love of the music, and not just for the love of the music, but for each other. You guys are more than just a band. You guys are as much a family.
Me and Steve have been playing together, like for over 15 years together, and we're the two original guys, and we've been through like 3 drummers, and added a second guitar player here. But other than that, we're kind of like the core of the thing, and it's pretty much if one of us go, it's no more.
Well, you know what? That's how it should be. I mean, you got too many bands nowadays that are just, one member leaves and they keep going. And take Judas Priest, who I love dearly. I'm a great fan of Priest. But 2 years ago it was, we're done, we're retiring, we're doing Epitaph. And, KK says, if we're done, we're done. And here we are 2 years later. There's a brand new album. They replaced KK, and they're still going.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather have them around, I guess. I mean, you got to admit, there still are 4 of the 5 of the lineup of.
Oh yeah,
Judas Priest in the band.
Right.
That's like Tesla. Tour with Tesla. 4 of the 5 guys are there still.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
You can't go
Some of the bands, when you only got 1 guy, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, when you get down to like 1 or even 2, when you've got a band that was at one time 5 guys and it gets down to just 2 original members, at that point you just got to sit there and go, maybe enough is enough, with what they're doing there. But you guys are doing great stuff out there on the road with Tesla. Before I'd like to go, because I know you've got busy stuff going on with the tour and everything. What have you guys planned after you guys are done with this? With these U.S. dates with Tesla, you guys heading over to Europe, or are you guys looking to do more dates? What's the plan?
Matter of fact, in August we have 12 shows in August. All of those are in like the last 3 weeks. About 6 of them are with Tesla, 1 or 2 with Jackal. Then we got some headlining shows at some biker things. Then we'll do some shows on our own again in the Midwest. Then we're going to do a video for a song we did a couple years ago called Merry Christmas Asshole. And we're going to get that ready for we put that out, and nobody really knows it out because we put it out. We were in Europe on a 30 or 40-day tour, and it came out, and there was no promo at all, hardly. And so we're going to do a video for that so people know about it, get that radio, and then in October we go over to Europe, and we're going to do some festivals in France. And then in November we'll release the Merry Christmas Asshole video, and we've got some festivals also here. We're doing this thing called the Skull Festival, or Rock and Skull Festival. It's got Black and Blue and all kinds of bands, a 3-day thing over in Illinois. Then we're just going to fill some holes, hopefully play some shows with Broken Teeth or Rhino Bucket, and just keep hitting the road.
Very cool, man. I remember Merry Christmas Asshole. I remember that one coming. I stumbled on that one because I was putting together my holiday show. I think it was last year, and I went looking around, and that came up, and I remember sitting there going, wait a minute, I never heard from Michael about this song. And I listened to it, and I'm like, yeah, this is American Dogs. I remember I threw it in to, I think, my holiday show either last year or the year before. I forget when I stumbled on it, but I love that you guys are going to be doing the video for that one. That'll definitely get people's attention. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Oh, it should be fun. I mean, it's one of those things, like what we did, Merry Christmas Asshole was originally going to be a 7-inch 45. But we found out when we were going into that it took like 8 to 10 weeks to get vinyl back. It's a long time in the printing process. So we said, oh, the hell with it. We'll just make it a CD. So then we said, oh, what the hell? Let's do a live. We went into the studio and did a live thing, brought about 20 people in, and we did a live show and recorded it right in the studio and added it on as bonus tracks.
Nice.
That's how that ended up coming. And so it just never got a push. So we're going to do that like as a new thing because nobody knows it's out there. And that should be fun. I can't wait. We'll all dress like Santa Clauses, and, we'll just be drunken buffoons, and it should be a fun video.
I can't wait to see that one, man. I look forward to seeing you guys put that one together.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Awesome, man.
Maybe this is a Twisted Sister Christmas.
Yeah, right. That would be a great Christmas show. American Dog, Merry Christmas Asshole with Twisted Sisters Christmas story. There you go.
I love Twisted Sister. We opened up for them in France, matter of fact, a festival like 2 or 3 years ago. We played right before them, and I got to talk to Marciano Mendoza quite a bit, and the drummer quite a bit. They're great guys, man. Just look great.
Yeah, I met Mark about a year or two ago. He's a real good guy. Everyone thinks he's this big asshole because he was the one that kind of was like, well, we need to drop the gimmick. We're older guys. Yeah, we can't keep dressing up like this. Everyone's trying to peg to him as this asshole when he really isn't. He's really a really good guy, man. So, but
yeah, I thought he was great.
Yeah, and they're a hell of a band to be out on a tour with. As Dee Snider said, though, it was a good thing you guys went on before them than after them because they always like to blow people off the stage.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're great live, man. They just kick so much ass. Dee Snider is just a god amongst mortal men, if you ask me. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw him at That Metal show back in March. I was in the audience for that one, and that was just... he's aging so well, and that man, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley either, man. He's got guns.
That would want to meet him in a blighted alley.
Yeah. But that's good stuff. They're always a great show. As is American Dog, make sure you guys go out and catch them out with Tesla. Michael, thank you for joining me here tonight inside the asylum. I know you guys got a lot coming up on the road, and before I have you go, I always have everyone pick something from their catalog. Why don't we pick something? Have you pick out something from Neanderthal to play for those listeners?
Yeah, let's play the title track from the album Neanderthal. It's a good little ass kicker. It's about old people like us that just won't give in and still like the hard and heavy stuff.
There you go, man. We'll do that right now. Neanderthal, the title track of American Dogs, the latest album. Go get it if you're just a badass rock and roller like Michael and me. Back with more just a little bit here inside the asylum.